The video is titled "Why All Americans Support and Why All Americans Should Celebrate Confederate Holidays." Cool music, I'll give you that.
Why all Americans should celebrate Confederate holidays.
You.
All Confederate soldiers are American veterans to be honored and respected globally.
So the Confederate soldiers are American veterans. Could you say the same thing, like American revolutionaries are British veterans? Because, like, hold on, I don't get that. Like, think about it. Okay, my mind's melting, but that was a good point. Because most people don't consider, Americans who fought in the Revolutionary War against the British to be British veterans. Do they now? The only difference is that America won, but the Confederacy lost. Now, of course, to be fair, the Confederacy had a poopy reason to go away. Their poopy reason was about slavery. The Chat America was like, no taxation without representation, which is pretty neat.
If it was not for their sacrifice, the United States of America would not be the greatest nation on earth as it is today.
So the only reason America is the greatest nation on earth is because some people in the 1860s fought to own black people? Fine, okay.
Anyone who questions the faith, morals, and Christian beliefs of the Confederacy...
Christian, yeah. I know the Old Testament is somewhat pro-slavery, I get, but the New Testament, or the one you're supposed to follow more so, is like all men are created equal. The Constitution says all men are created equal, but Jesus said, love your neighbor. Yeah, these people want to own black people. Okay.
And its citizens, or tries to inject slavery into the conversation.
Yep, slavery. That's what they fought for.
You should first remember this. All Americans who fought in World War I.
Remember that argument I made about, can you make the same argument for American revolutionaries or British veterans? Remember that? Yeah, now they're trying to say the traitors who started the CSA are the same thing as people who served in World War I and stuff. I just want to say, I was talking to my grandmother about this yesterday, because I was telling her I was going to make this video, and she said, I asked what her opinion was on, since we both have family that served, like, her dad and my great-grandfather was a officer in the Air Force, and her brother and my granduncle was an Army veteran from the Marines, and I asked her about it, and she said that my uncle, who I just said he served in the Army during the Vietnam War, right, she said that he hates this kind of stuff, so I thought I'd throw that out there. I don't know, maybe I'll make a video with him on this someday, I don't know, like, that can be fun.
World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Marines in Peru, Grenada, First Gulf War,
okay, we get
Iraq, Afghanistan, etc. are American patriots for defending.
I mean, yeah, people who actually fought for the United States, but you guys fought for the CSA, which Confederate States of America stands for CSA, okay?
Our way of life. All
this is a dog whistle. Confederate soldiers wanted to defend slavery. Get over it. I get your great-grandpappy. It's hard to think that your great-grandpappy fought to own black people, which I get. I'm from Arkansas, so I should know that the law. So, I do have people who fought for the South in my blood, I guess. But guess what? I don't base my personality on that. I don't deny historical facts, do I now?
And retired military personnel are some of the bravest soldiers the world has ever seen.
Not the CSA.
They are the true protectors of our democratic society and the reason why we live in peace.
The reason why we live in peace is because of the Confederacy. Yeah, whatever. Okay, boomer. Remember that meme back in like late 2019, early 2020? Those were the days before hell broke loose. Anyway, yeah, the Confederacy was very authoritarian. There was no free speech, and to be a Confederate citizen, you had to honor the Confederacy. They said, like, you have to pledge loyalty to the Confederacy and the President Jefferson Davis. Plus, they banned alcohol in the Confederacy. Plus, don't forget they own slaves. Don't forget that.
They take their orders and follow their commanders, regardless if the cause is viewed by some as just, right, or wrong. To attack or try to demonize the sons of Confederate veterans today in 2021 for honoring their ancestors is
Who fought for slavery.
the same as calling all American military and their families and following the order.
What? I don't get that. No, the traitors who fought for the Confederacy are not the same as someone who fought in World War II. Get over it.
Of their country. They do not pick and choose when and who to fight, especially when attacked first.
Wait, no. It was the South who seceded first. Did you know Jefferson Davis was sworn in for 6 days before Lincoln was? Also, Fort Sumter started the Civil War. The South attacked Fort Sumter to get get stuff from the military, right? Yeah. They want to get military supplies, so they attacked Fort Sumter.
Would anyone dare today call all Iraq veteran traitors or murderers? No weapons of mass destruction were found. Is it their fault?
I mean, no. It's not their fault, but the difference is that Confederate soldiers knew they were fighting for slavery. Iraq veterans thought they were going to overthrow Saddam Hussein and bring peace to Iraq, and everybody's penis would grow 12 inches and everything would be great. Now, it turns out George W. Bush kind of sucks, and he lied about the war, right?
The same applies to all Confederate soldiers and their Union counterparts.
Wrongo.
Although the Union soldiers did burn cities to the ground, starve, and murdered tens of thousands of civilians in 1864 and 1865.
The Confederates owned slaves. That's violent, even though these people probably are fine with that. Yeah. They own slaves. And that's bad, okay. Also, the Confederacy attacked first, and they pillaged. I don't know if they pillaged as much as the Union, but to be fair, the Union was like, there weren't that many battles in the Union as there were in the Confederacy, right? Like, most battles during the Civil War were actually in Virginia, which was a Confederate state, okay? So, the reason why the North pillaged more is probably because they were the ones inside the South, not the other way around. Even though, that sounds super gay now that I say that out loud, inside the South. Oh well.
Why is it wrong to call it a civil war?
It isn't, it was. I'm looking up definition of Civil War. Whoa. A war between citizens of the same country. Yep, Oxford Dictionaries. That's what a civil war is. That's a good definition.
The true definition of a civil war is when two or more factions of a country make war with each other for the purpose of control of that country. Normally, there would be an existing regime that would fight to retain their power, while being challenged for that power from another section of that country.
Yes.
From the Southern perspective, the War of the 1860s was no civil war at all. To the South,
Yeah, it was
simply a war for their independence.
That's a civil war. They were citizens of the same country fighting for different sides. Brothers were split together. I was gonna say brothers and sisters, but women didn't fight back then.
The South had no
Then again, women not fighting back then. Wow, these guys probably think those were the days, huh?
intention of overthrowing the federal government in Washington.
They wanted to
Nor
do that.
did the South have any intention to overthrow and possess those states in the North that disagreed with their right of...
A civil war could just be independence. Like, for instance, you know, the American Revolution, you could say that was a civil war, right?
Secession. it is important to remember that initially much of the general sentiment in the North was to let the South go in peace. However, it was quickly determined that by letting the South go, it would, at least in the short term, ruin them economically. A strained economy was unacceptable for the industrialized North, and thus the true reason for their change of thought and increased aggression. When the Northern economy started deteriorating more...
No, the Southern economy was worse. I mean, the Northern economy had factories and stuff. The Southern economy was just like slavery. Oops, my mouse on. Sorry, my mouse unplugged. The Northern economy was basically based on industry. Thus, also trains too. So the Northern economy won because they had trains, which were great for transportation. And the South lost because most of their industry was based on agriculture. Wow. The North won because they had industry. Like, it's basically libertarianism more, I guess.
And more as each southern state seceded. Tremendous pressure started being applied to Lincoln to forcibly bring the seceded states back into the Union. Lincoln also had his own political ambitions and legacy to protect, and this too played a major role in his decision to invade the South militarily.
Invade the South. The South started the whatever. Like I already said, it was the South who attacked Fort Sumter, and Jefferson Davis was sworn in 6 days before Lincoln was, but who cares? Oh, whatever. I already said that.
Composed of consenting states, the Southern Confederacy was a sovereign independent nation that wanted nothing more than to live in peace and to be left alone.
To own slaves.
Invading a sovereign nation would not fit well within the world community, so the North immediately set forth with new reasoning and causes for this war between the states, in an effort to conceal their opposition.
It was the South who seceded, They seceded because they wanted to own slaves, and it's in the states' secession stuff. Like, every state that seceded wrote, like, their own Declaration of Independence, right? And they said it was because of slavery.
Aggression, and shift the blame of the conflict away from themselves. The North had their reputation in the world to protect, and was especially worried that France or England would officially begin supporting the South. A European ally with the South would have been devastating for the success of the North's cause. For the South, this was a war for their independence and nothing more.
And to own slaves.
As it was for their grandfathers who had fought against England in America's first war of secession for independence.
Yeah, well, the revolutionaries had cool little reasons to secede. They said taxation without representation, and you guys wanted to own slaves. Oh, this is tiring. No, I'm not visiting your site. Frick you. Okay, so we got media exploited one man pictured with the Confederate flag. Then we'll have one video after this.
Why the one man with the Confederate flag out of the thousands carrying different flags of the U.S.?
It wasn't just him, I think. Like, they show him because he had the biggest Confederate flag, and I think he got the farthest. But look, here's one. This is "Come and Take It," which is talking about guns. There's ton. Oh yeah, Mississippi has a Confederate flag and their flag too.
Capitol protest and breach is now the most famous.
No, he's not the most famous of them all. He's probably like in the top 5. Who's the most famous? It'll be the guy with the buffalo horns, then the guy who put his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk, who's from like Gravette, Arkansas, I think. Number 3 would maybe be him. The zip tie guy. The guy from Nashville, Tennessee with the zip ties, and then number 4 would be him, probably.
Out of all. Who is this man? What is his intention? On January 6, 2021, people using Antifa style...
They want Antifa. Basically, the whole video is he says the liberal media was trying to say this man was, he's like, the liberal media is trying to make this guy the only guy. It's like,
Front
okay,
and Center did not stop on live TV.
look,
It was followed by carefully coordinated social media and online exposure. All the news outlets decided together to start the next day with this man's picture front and center.
not all news outlets, but okay, look, see, these don't. These don't, do they? Do they? No, they don't. It's not a plan to hurt you, but okay. What else? The liberal media is trying to put his face everywhere. Okay? I mean, he's a good example of the Capitol riot. I mean, he had a big Confederate flag, and it's like, you know. Also, then like him and his son went there. Apparently, this is a Confederate flag he actually had at his house too. Then we have like your Buffalo guy is way more known than Confederate dude. This is his son, I guess.
Interesting how one man holding the Confederate flag is now the symbol of riots and carnage.
No,
It's a sad day in American history.
I agree, but not for the reasons you're saying. People's anger should be focused on present-day politicians, not the South during the Civil War. Well, at the same time, people are still sympathizing to the South. Like, this channel has 1.01 thousand subscribers, right? Versus, like, my, 23, I think? I checked this morning. Might grow soon, I don't know. They're all, like, I'll show you the statistic of, like, how many Trump supporters defend slavery or whatever, if you want to see that. So, here's the last one. Thank God it's the last one. This is the most cancerous thing I ever had to experience. This Secession for Confederate veterans or whatever. Oh, this came out a little later. It's August 22nd, 2020. The last 3 were in 2021. I know the first 2 are, like, pretty early on. Or, like, let's see. The first one I reacted to was, like, a week ago, I think. Simps for the Confederate simps. Yeah, they're trying to get you to simp. Simp. Thought. I'm trying to get you to look at the woman and be like, wow, I like that. I'm gonna go simp for the Confederates and now. Look, see? Don't. Look, see, I'll show you. It's the plan. They're trying to get you to simp for the Confederacy, right? So, in conclusion, this is... I'll make maybe another video on this. I don't know. Not long ago, socialism was not acceptable in American society. Yeah, I'll make fun of that, I guess. But in conclusion, I get that it sucks to think that they had an uneducated ancestor who fought for slavery. But that doesn't mean you need to change history, so...